Good morning and happy Friday, everybody. Today we're going to take a look at Lightroom version 5. I was asked to show this video or how to edit an image to a meetup group through another photographer. I'm going to use an image that I took with this young lady. Her name is Jody. We're in Lightroom 5, so they've added a couple of things, so we're going to be able to change the way we do our workflows. So I did this video really quick at this class, and I got overwhelming amount of emails asking me if I could redo this thing on a video so I could show you how I did this. So right now we're in Lightroom 5, the new version. I'm in the develop module, and I have this picture that I've worked with this young lady. Her name's Jody. I'll put her Model Mayhem number later on in this video. I'll even put it on there a couple times so you can see it. I would highly recommend, if you guys are looking for a top model, to use this young lady. She's wonderful to work with. So we'll just jump right into the editing of the image for you. So what I did was, looking at some of the new tools in Lightroom 5, first thing I did with this image, you can see that the sun is coming in from right here on this side of her, where her hair is at, lighting up this part of her arm. We have this shadow and this rock back here. We had not the best lighting because of the time of day that it was, and I did not have a reflector to light her up, but which is okay because I like the dramatic look that this gives in the final image. So first thing I did was, I looked at this image when I did this video for this other photographer, was first thing I did was at the temperature right here, I want this to have a nice warm feel to it. So I changed this to 6,000 in my temperature, which gives it a nice warm feel. We shot this image sometime around, I don't know, 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. So if I bring my temperature up to 6,000, it just gives it a nice warm color. So now I'm going to jump into some of the new tools that Lightroom has for us. Some of these are in Lightroom 5. Some of these are in Lightroom 4. But the way I adjusted this image, only a couple of these are in Lightroom 4. So first thing I'm going to do is, Jody has very, very pretty green eyes. So what I'm going to do is jump over here to my adjustment brush, and I'm going to pick the color, and I'm going to pick a very small brush. I'm just going to paint right here on the color of her eye. Try not to spill over into any other part of it. So I'm just going to go now. Right now it has obviously a red color that's selected, or a pinkish color. So I'm just going to go here, click here, and pick on a green that will highlight the color of her eyes because of the shadows that we're in. That looks about what I remember. So then I just click done. So now I've just brightened up the color of her eye just a little bit. So here's where I use the new tools in Lightroom 5 to do this image. Before I go through some of the other adjustments that we did, I'm just going to show you some quick adjustments just to get your image started. Blacks, I hit -25, which will give some depth to the rock, kind of separate her from this rock just a little bit. Clarity will bring it up to about 15%. I didn't change the vibrance, and I did not change saturation at all on her image. And I came down here, and then on the darks right here, -20 on this one will give just a little bit more definition. And that's just about all I did as far as the adjustments in that panel of Lightroom. So what we did now was, there's a new tool here. It's the radial filter that they've added to Lightroom 5. So I'm going to click on this filter here. I'm going to change the effect from color. I want it to dodge, which is going to lighten up the image just under the area that I open up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click right here on her face, kind of create an outline of her face. And I'm going to place it right over her face, right about there. So what happens now is if you take your exposure and you pull it up, you're going to affect everything but that part of the image. We're going to go the other way, we darken up everything but that part of her image. So what I really, on this part of it, you come down and right up underneath here says invert mask. So now I'm going to work on the part of the image that is now selected, which is just her face. So if I brighten this up just a little bit, and I did this only at about 0.70, hit enter, which will accept your adjustment, and click the done button. So now I brightened up her face, that little bit of cast that we had, and kind of gave it just a little bit more tone. So what I did next was I went back to that same filter. Now I'm going to darken or burn. And now I'm going to select a larger part of this image, which would be, I want to just kind of cover her. And you just pull off to the left and right on these. So I'm going to cover her, just cover her arm. Bring this down just a little bit to get the full shape of her in here. So about right there, looks good. And the same thing. So now, if I were to pull this down now, I now keep her without changing at all what's inside the circle. So I did the rocks now. I darkened up the rocks behind her. And in this one, you're just changing the exposure. So I went to a minus about 125. I thought really looked good for her image. And then now click done. This was all there was to it. I didn't have to go through a whole lot of steps that I had to do in Lightroom 4. A lot of times you'd have to go up here and use one of the other tools. The gradient filter was one that I would have had to use in a couple different places. But this is really all you have to do. And then the last thing, normally I could place a vignette, but I didn't have to on this image because of the new filters or new tools that are in Lightroom. So the last thing I need to do is come down here into the sharpening, 35 on the sharpening, luminance, go about 40. I want to keep a lot of detail in her image, so I want about 85%. The color, 40, 90. And there's a new thing here, the smoothness, which really doesn't change this image too much. And then I was done. So with the new Lightroom 5, there's some new tools that you have to work with that makes it a little bit easier to just bring out certain parts of the image instead of doing a global adjustment. So I hope this helps. Thanks for all the emails that we got asking us how to do this image. So if you have any questions on it, how simple this really is in Lightroom 5, it's a great program. We had to do a system upgrade though. Lightroom 5 does not work on Windows XP, so you have to have Windows 7 or above. So we had to do an upgrade. We had to upgrade from Windows Vista we've been running for the last couple of years to Windows 7 to make this work. I don't like Windows 8. Well, it's a whole other thing, but I went to Windows 7, and it updated the software for me, updated my library, so all my pictures were still there. So thanks again. I'm talking to another photographer here locally. We're in the Southwest Riverside County. We're looking to set up a photography meetup group and a Lightroom group with the photographers to help you guys do all of these adjustments, show you how easy it is to do, even with an image you don't think looks as good as you do when you like it. So that information will be at the end of this video. I hope this helps again. Thanks a lot, guys. If you like the video, subscribe to it, share it, whatever you want to do. I'll put this on our Facebook page. I'll put this in some of the meetup rooms that we have on Facebook. So thank you guys very much. Have a great weekend. Take a lot of shots. Have any questions, give us a call, an email. and we'll be happy to get back to you. Thanks a lot.